about the Tawarruq product. So, let's start.
What is Tawarruq? Tawarruq is a financial instrument in which a buyer purchases a commodity from a seller on a deferred payment basis, and the buyer sells the same commodity to our third party on a spot payment basis. The buyer basically borrows the cash needed to make the initial purchase. There are two categories of Tawarruq: Tawarruq home financing and Tawarruq personal financing. Tawarruq home financing is another alternative home financing introduced by an Islamic bank in the Middle East. The customer identifies a house and pays 10% down payment to the developer or the house owner. The customer approaches a bank to apply for financing, and the bank will assess his creditworthiness. After approval of the financing, the bank will buy a commodity from broker A costing $100,000. The bank sells the commodity to the customer for $140,000. The customer will pay the amount to the bank in installments over the financing period. The customer sells the commodity to broker B and gets cash. The customer pays the remaining 90% balance to the house developer. Tawarruq personal financing, an arrangement that involves the purchase of an asset based on the musawama or murabaha and the subsequent sale of the same asset to a third party in order to raise cash. This transaction results in the customer receiving cash to be used for his business or personal requirements. The customer and the bank enter into an arrangement where the customer promises to buy a specific commodity or asset from the bank. The customer also appoints the bank as his agent to sell the said commodity. The bank buys the specific commodity from broker A on a spot basis. The bank sells the same commodity to the customer on a deferred basis at cost plus profit. As an agent, the bank sells the same commodity to broker B on a spot basis. The bank pays the customer the sale proceeds in a lump sum. The customer pays the bank the purchase price of the commodity on a deferred installment basis. Based on personal financing Islamic bank, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad personal financing is unsecured or secured term financing needs, which is calculated based on floating rate. The Sharia concept used is Tawarruq. Tawarruq concept consists of two sales contracts. Purchase of commodities by the customers of Bank Islam based on the concept of murabaha at the bank's deferred sale price. In the process, purchase will be made by Bank Islam as the purchasing agent on behalf of the customer. The customer is responsible for paying the amount due from the murabaha transaction in accordance with the terms agreed upon. Bank Islam as sales agent on behalf of the customers is responsible to sell the commodities to the other commodity buyer at the cost price of which is refers to the financing amount. Commodity means any commodity acceptable to Bank Islam such as palm oil, plastic resin, rubber, cocoa beans, soybeans, timber, and metal, traded at any commodity trading platform approved by Bank Islam. I will show you an illustration from issued by Bank Negara Malaysia for the Tawarruq contract. We can see that from the illustration, for example, a customer requires financing of 100,000 ringgit from IFI. Upon this request, the IFI execute the Tawarruq arrangement. The IFI purchased the asset with selling price of 100,000 ringgit from asset supplier 1. The IFI pays cash to asset supplier 1. Subsequently, the IFI sells the asset to the customer at an agreed selling price of 120,000. The customer makes deferred payment through monthly installment for a period of 5 years. Subsequently, the customer appoints the IFI as its agent to sell the asset to asset supplier 2 on a spot at selling price of 100,000 ringgit. The customer obtains a cash 100,000 ringgit required for the financing. There are three types of personal financing offered by Bank Islam: personal financing for professional program, personal financing I9 package, and personal financing I package. Next is benefit and features. Financing quantum, which is based on eligibility limits and subject to minimum amounts of 10,000 and maximum amount of 300,000. Payment period maximum of 10 years equal to 120 months or up to the retirement age, whichever is earlier. Next is takaful coverage, competitive rates, no hidden charges, financing rates offered with takaful coverage, and last selling price, fees, and known by the customers. Home financing of Afin Islamic Bank, the most flexible and convenient residential property financing package based on Sharia concept of Tawarruq, involving the buying and selling of Sharia compliant commodity, which gives you the flexibility and convenience to own your dream house. How it works? Under the Sharia concept of Tawarruq, the bank and customer shall enter into a buy and sell contract, whereby the underlying asset is Sharia compliant commodity. Below shows simplified modus operandi of Tawarruq transaction. Bank will purchase commodity from broker A at bank's purchase price. Bank will sell commodity to client at bank sale price. Client will appoint the bank as agent to sell the commodity to the broker, and then as an agent for the client will sell commodity to broker B. Product features and benefits is available for acquisition of residential property, competitive financing rates, no early settlement charges, no processing fees. And the packages available in Afin Islamic Bank is Afin Tawarruq Home Financing I and Skim Rumah Pertamaku. Eligibility for the Afin Islamic Bank is available for individual and limited company customers, open to all Muslim and non-Muslim, leisure and non-citizen of the fixed amount of the interest in this banking system. In this banking system, there is no involvement of the interest, which is called the riba. Islamic banks mostly provide the assets to the customers instead of lending them the money. The conventional banking institutes are limited to the monetary affairs to the monetary markets with a purpose to gain monetary benefits rightly or wrongly. Why we need choose Islamic bank? It's no interest charge, government discount, share risk with bank, and it's for Muslim and non-Muslim. Why we need choose conventional bank? It's a more transparency, better organization, no halal requirement, and less paperwork involved. The comparison between Islamic bank and conventional bank. In Islamic bank, contract promotes risk sharing between provider of capital and the user of funds. In conventional bank, investor is agent of a predetermined rate of interest. Company calculation is strictly prohibited under Islamic banking system, while lending money and getting it back with the compounding interest is the fundamental functions of the conventional banks. The Islamic banks have no provision to charge any extra money from the defaulters. It can charge additional money in case of defaulters in conventional banks. Islamic banking only deals in halal products and services. All transactions must be in Sharia compliance. Conventional banks invest their deposit in interest-based modes. The status of Islamic bank in relation to its clients is that of partners, investor, and trader, buyer and seller. The status of conventional bank in relation to its client is that of creditor or debtor. Islamic bank cannot guarantee of all its deposit, while a conventional bank has to guarantee of all its deposit. There are 5 types of Islamic banking: musyarakah, mudarabah, murabaha, ijarah, and by ijarah. This is example selected brands of conventional bank groups and Islamic bank groups. In conclusion, Islamic banking and finance revolves around justice and morality. It's a very young concept in modern times, yet it's emerging as one of the fastest growing areas of international finance. Not to deal with riba, thus avoiding almost enter a war. Let us all support Islamic banking venture, which is to be provided by establishment of Gulf African Bank. We pray and believe that the one will strictly uphold Sharia and uplift the living standards of all those who try to do so in a decent manner.